Hello and welcome to Ensemble Conversations with me, Mark Kilmurry. This morning we have actors and director, and the director and the actor is the same person. We have Francesca Savige and Chantelle Jamieson joining us. Hello, good morning. How are you both?
Hi, Mark. Well, thank you.
Good. Happy to be here.
Well, we would be talking about Kid and Katie, the play that you are directing, Frankie, and that you're in, Chantelle, in a little while. Just first, before I ask this question, and I get very similar answers, but anyway, I'll ask it. How's isolation treating you, Frankie?
Look, I count my blessings every day that we are here in Australia and how privileged we are. Obviously, the art situation is worrying. I also work with another independent theatre company, Sport for Jove, and like you've been dealing with, Mark, we're also wrangling with when will we play again and the uncertainty of all that. Aside from that, the positive thing is I've been doing a lot of gardening. Really, really good for the soul and spending quality time with my cats. It's a mix of good and bad, I think.
It is good for the soul, he says, just only watching people do gardening, but even that's good for the soul. I think that's a good thing. Chantelle, how about for you?
Yeah, I think Frankie's right. It's like a mixture of good and bad. Bad because of the sad state that the pandemic has left our industry in, like it's exposed quite a few holes in the way that our industry is supported and loved within this country. But I'm an introvert, so I actually really like time on my own. It's been really nice to just stay at home and do, lonely activities like puzzles and play my Nintendo. So it's been good.
Yes, it's nice not to have to think of an excuse that you can't go anywhere. You just go, actually, you know what, I can't, I'm a bit worried about Corona.
Yeah, that's right. I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah, I'm doing the right thing by staying in.
Yeah.
Well, you would be doing Tracey Trinder's wonderful comedy, Kid and Katie, comedy drama. Frankie, just tell us a little bit about that play without giving anything away, no spoilers. But when you first read Tracey's play, how did it strike you?
Look, it is a very funny play. It's absolutely a comedy, but you could say a dark comedy, and it centres around 5 women and a book club. So it's a great setting. Obviously, some wonderful books that the book club is reading. And Tracy takes us on a journey of exploring group dynamics amongst these women and how a new member to the book club shakes things up a little bit.
Yes, very good. Very good, yes. Skirting around, yes. And Chantelle, you're playing the title role, Katie. What was, when you first read that character, she's a fantastic character, how did she appeal to you?
She's so unabashed, and she walks into a room carrying, or seemingly carrying, the person that she is proudly and loudly. And I just think that's exciting. I love people like that. I love people who are unapologetically themselves, because we all kind of, we hide little bits of ourselves, obviously, in different settings. But this is a character who doesn't do that. And that's, I just find it so exciting. I love it. I love her.
Yes, she's very honest, and it's nice to and blunt with it, and can tread on toes, but she's true to herself.
Exactly. And if she puts a few noses out of joint, it's not out of any kind of malice. It's just because it's honest. It's who she is.
And Frankie, what is it about book clubs that may bring out some of these slights and competition? And there's book clubs are a strange beast. Not that they're not wonderful too.
Well, actually, my mum is in the couple, so I've been questioning her a lot about her experience with book clubs. And I think what's so fascinating about them is that they bring together women from all walks of life who have this one thing in common, which is the passion and the love of reading and investigating stories. And the characters in Kid and Katie are such women. But of course, that means that there's really different personalities coming together in the room, and conflicting opinions both on the story or the characters that they're reading, or perhaps in life in general, how to approach life and conversations. So I think it's that little melting pot of personalities, or not melting pot rather, that makes a book club such a fascinating setting for a play.
I was in a book club for about a morning, I think, or an afternoon. I found I said what I thought too bluntly, perhaps, and was very dismissive of the book, and then wanted to move on because I thought, well, we've talked about that, but I realised that isn't quite the point. Although talking about the book is not necessarily the point of a book club. I think it's a bit like Jaws. It's not really about a shark, perhaps. Why do you think, Chantelle, that it's mostly, I did research this before I asked this question, it's mainly women that go to book clubs. There are men's book clubs and there are mixed, but mainly it is a gathering of women.
I think I think human beings are communal beings, but I think certainly for women, I think we have an understanding that coming together and sharing time with other people is really important, and I think that that's what book clubs allow, is a time to share with other women. And as you say, it's not about the book really, it's about who you are and where you're at, and a different book read one year will mean something to you, and then 2 years later you'll be like, oh my god, how did I miss this in this book? It's about the people within the book club and being able to share that and share who you are.
Absolutely think that's cool. That's fantastic. Yes, you're right about a book that you pick up again and find something else. And in fact, it's a completely different book depending on where you are in your life, and it says different things to you. I guess that's what the power of a good book is. Frankie, just juggling acting and directing, you're an actor and you also direct, and you work with Sport for Jove in a big way as well, directing Shakespeare and all sorts of different classes. Where does your passion lie?
Oh, my passion lies with theatre, hands down, theatre in general. I think that's why I branched out into directing, because I want to be doing it more often, and sometimes there's not enough acting work, so I'm like, well, I still want to do it. What else can I do that's involved in it? And I think as a director, coming from an acting background, you are deeply invested in exploring relationships and stage dynamics, and so it's not an uncommon step to take. And as you know, Mark, I was really privileged to receive the Sandra Bates Directors Award with Ensemble Theatre a couple of years ago, and for me, that experience gave me the confidence to feel like to be able to say now without shame, I am a director. And I think the gift of confidence, which I explore a lot with the education work that I do, is so invaluable, and experience gives confidence in a way like nothing else can. So yeah, it was an incredible opportunity to grow and to build my confidence in a realm that I hadn't had huge amounts of experience in, and certainly not professionally.
That's great to hear. For those who don't know, the Sandra Bates Directors Award is an award for a emerging director, to come in and work with two other directors in a season at the theatre. And it was named, I wanted to name it, of course, after Sandra Bates, our 30-year artistic director of the Ensemble Theatre and a huge influence on the Ensemble Theatre. You did Taking Steps and Buyer and Seller, both very, very different plays. Taking Steps, Alan Ayckbourn, and Buyer and Seller was an intriguing story too.
Well, they're both comedies, and I've realised more and more. I just directed a whole lot of scenes at the Actors Centre of Australia, American scenes. And at first I thought I had all this really dark material, and I'm actually just exploring comedies. I'm learning that's the big passion of mine. So, but they were very different comedies. So working with Susanna Dowling on Buyer and Seller, it was a one-man show. It was incredibly witty. It's storytelling, the diverse abilities of the amazing Ben Gerard acting a number of characters. A very different experience to a larger cast working with you on Taking Steps, which was the Alan Ayckbourn. An amazing set design, which was also part of the comedy. As well as that particular style of comedy of that era, but also a very maybe more naturalistic, even though it had an unusual setting, approach to comedy. So I had very, very enjoyable experiences. There was no sitting around crying in rehearsal rooms. It was all fun and laughter. In fact, too much laughter sometimes.
Yes.
I still remember there was an accident on the opening night of a preview of Taking Steps. One of the characters meant to be acting running downstairs and putting his pants on at the same time, which was all
Yes.
Drew Livingston, the actor, put his pants on the wrong way, and we were beside ourselves. I was crying. I was crying with laughter that night. And we decided, Mark, that we would keep that.
We kept it. Did we keep it? We did, didn't we?
Yeah, it was just too funny to.
It just was one of those great accidents that you go, okay, keep that, because the audience just howled with laughter and fell over laughing. So we did keep it. Yeah, it was terrific. And then we pretend we wanted to do that all along, and that was one of those comedy moments that you knew was going to work. Chantelle, acting and actors for you as well. When you get to choose roles, how do you choose role? What appeals to you when you say yes to acting in a role?
I think there's just got to be something that sparks your empathy, something that sparks you, either that makes you laugh or it makes you cry, and something about the character that speaks to a part of you. I think that as transformative as people can be in different roles, if there's not some link between you and the character that you're playing, then you're never going to be able to do that role justice. And so that's what I'm looking for when I choose a role, is always just that spark, that something that is the way that I recognize myself. Even if the person is so far from me, I can recognize that part of myself in them and thus find a way into that person.
I remember I was playing a psychiatrist who wasn't very nice and actually burnt his institution down at the end, and I loved playing it. And someone asked me, how do you play such an evil, awful man? And I said, well, he's somebody he's looking for ambition and wanting to do good. It just keeps going wrong. And I think you're right. It's the way in to a character is to choose that element that you think that you can identify with, and the rest takes care of itself.
Definitely. It's the humanity. It's, that's theatre. That's why it was created, was so that we could see ourselves in the people on stage. And I think when an actor meets a role that they can understand, we get magic. And so that's the art.
Absolutely, yes. Frankie, just when you said, it was interesting, you said, oh, now I think I can call myself a director rather than an actor who wants to direct. And I remember that. I remember exactly that moment of, oh, actually, I'm doing this now. Because there's a blurring between those roles. What, for the future, is it something that you're wanting to pursue more of directing, or are you thinking you can still juggle both?
If you can do it all, I want to do it all.
Thanks.
And so people like John Bell too, still acting and directing. I think more and more we'll see women sort of, taking on those positions where they actually are able to be both actor and director, and and move between them both without getting stuck in one category or the other. I think that they both feed into each other. Being an actor helps me appreciate directors who are working with me and their approaches, and then also directing, I think, enhances me as a performer, because I learn by observing actors at work in a sort of microcosm of actor investigation. So it feeds into each other, just with that education. I'm very passionate about arts education, and that too, I think, has helped me grow as both an actor and director. So I think having my finger in many pies makes me a very happy and content woman.
Well, and it's the same creative impulse, as you say. It's coming from the same place, and they both fuel each other. I know that when I've worked with a director who was also an actor, there's a as a way of, as a communication there that I think is very beneficial, and definitely. I enjoy. And a lot of actors who become directors, I think, can be very fine, as well as directors who go through different courses. But I know when I'm acting and then someone's directing me, I fall into all those terrible actor traps that I think I've learned not to do from being a director. And it's completely rubbish. I'm panic from day two as usual. Just it's a bit of a a silly question in a way, but the future, what's happening in the future for you when theatres open again and when this plague has gone? Is there anything coming up, Chantelle, anything for you?
I mean, I think there are things coming up, but we just don't know. We can't really see into the future. I mean, we hope that at the start of next year things will get rolling, but if there's another flare-up, well, I think that it's going to be an incredible day when we're able to sit in a theatre with a full audience and feel comfortable and confident knowing that this situation is under control. I think that it'll be a long time before we take that experience, being an audience member in a full house, for granted. I just, we get, during this pandemic, this lockdown period, we've been able to watch theatre shows from all over the world recorded with full houses, and it's so exciting and heartwarming to hear the laughs, the gasps, the claps, and that communal feeling that you can only get from a theatre. When that's going to come back, but it will be a wonderful day.
Be fantastic. I cannot wait. I watched Hamilton recently online, and I never thought I'd be watching a theatre piece online and thinking how odd and strange it is to see people sitting next to each other in a theatre, and that seems really sad. It's almost like science fiction or something. Yes, hopefully we'll all be doing that very soon. It would be great. Frankie, for you, anything coming apart from Kid and Katie? Is there anything else that you've got in the pipeline?
I'm actually currently working towards our digital online program for young actors in Sport for Dove Theatre Company to do a performance online, so we can hopefully access some children who might not otherwise be able to come in and do our regular in-person in real life classes. We are hoping to be able to go ahead as well. So we're working towards a summer show. So about 10 to 15 weeks of rehearsal on a Shakespeare-based play, about an hour long, working with young people and hopefully giving them something inspiring to focus on, because I'm really feeling for the kids right now. I think it's in such a foundational time to give them any opportunity to still feel connected with other people is really important. So that's something I'm very passionate about, and I'm quite emotional about, because it means so much to me. Hopefully the in real life one does get to have a performance for an audience when it happens in December with, even if we have to seat their parents, 1.5 meters apart, at least to be able to perform live would be a pretty good thrill, and also online for regional kids.
It's so important too, and it's such a great thing to do. Fantastic. And Damien Ryan running Sport for Jove there, who's a wonderful man, and it's a wonderful theatre company. Anybody watching haven't checked out Sport for Jove, please do. They're well worth watching and following. You going to say?
Thanks, Mark. Yes, I'm in Damien Ryan's Sport for Jove headquarters. I think it would make me look really intelligent if I had all the books behind me. I
thought they were all your books as research for the book club. For Kid and Katie, I thought that's what you were. I thought, wow, that's taking that really seriously. Yes, it does look very impressive. Thank you both for talking to us this morning. It's so nice to catch up with you. Really looking forward to Kid and Katie when it comes to us at the theatre in some form, and for us all to be sharing a foyer or an opening night again soon.
Yes. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Frankie. Thank you, Chantelle. See you very soon, and keep safe. Bye-bye.